Everyone, Assalamualaikum. Okay, welcome back to the next slot of online learning. Okay, first of all, let me give a brief introduction about the course. So, at the end of the course, students are able to assess, which is C5, assess the design concepts of petroleum and natural gas processing plants. So you have to know, by right, you have to know already what is C5 means, or the definition of C5. So it is cognitive five, so it's quite high. So, and the next one is to analyze the refinery processes feedstock, petroleum and natural gas, and that one is C4, a little bit lower, and but it involves critical thinking, city best. The next one is to choose petroleum and natural gas distribution system, which is A3, effective domain, uh, and lifelong learning. So of course, lifelong learning. Usually, you have to do the learning by yourself. And last one is to explain policy, national and international legislation related to petroleum and natural gas production, which is A3 and EM. So effective domain 3. Okay. Okay. Next one is the program outcomes that has been listed for this course is as PO1, which is to apply knowledge of mathematics, science, engineering fundamentals, and engineering specialization to the solution of complex engineering problems. And PO3, design solutions for complex engineering problems and design system components or processes that meet specified needs with appropriate consideration for public health and safety, cultural, societal, and environmental considerations. And PO7, which is effective, apply reasoning informed by contextual knowledge to access societal, health, safety, legal, and cultural issues, and the consequent responsibilities relevant to professional engineering practice. Next one is PO9, which is effective to apply ethical principles and commit to professional ethics and responsibility and norms of engineering ethics. Practice. And last one is PO14, to recognize the need for and have the preparation and ability to engage in independent and lifelong learning in the broadest context of technological exchange. Okay, this is the preliminary COPO mapping. So the CO1, because the C5, because the domain for the cognitive is higher, which is C5, so I will include it in the final exam for 20%. And next one is CO2, which is C4. I have to include it in the test one, which is 20%, and final exam 20%. And next one is CO3, which is effective, A3. So it will be mapped to PO7, which is the case study, and PO14, which is the SCL lecture, and as well as individual contribution, which is 5%. And CO4 uh, is mapped to PO9, which is student-centered learning, which is industrial resourcefulness. So basically, for PO7 and PO9, it is one project, but the assessment criteria is divided into two. So basically, I will give you the one project whereby you have to contact the industry. So you have to contact the industry. Because this is one of the really important criteria and attribute, which is to be resourcefulness. So that's why I put it as the criteria for the assessment. Okay. First of all, let me. Okay, as I mentioned previously, the test one will be on week 5 and 6, or 6 or even 7, and for the individual contribution, it should involve your contribution through WhatsApp group, through YouTube, through the comment on Putra Blast, everything. Every comment, every participation is recorded and it will be prorated to the highest individual contribution, which equals to 5%. Okay, so make sure that you participated actively because I need to show all the proof to justify the marks. Okay, moving on to the next criteria, which is SCL lecture. In the designated group that I have listed to you previously, you must choose a topic that you would like to conduct the SCL lecture. And please refer to the guidelines given. Okay, this guideline I have uploaded on Putra Blast. Okay, basically the objective of the SCL lecture is the students will be able to choose petroleum and natural gas distribution system, which is A3 and lifelong learning, and each student is required to prepare an interactive lecture on the assigned topic. And the presentation method, the first one is do not ever read the content. Make sure that I don't know, because I think maybe I can give you one tips. Maybe I can call it a tip. You can memorize the thing until you really memorize every single thing, and then you can start recording. So, okay, make sure you don't read it. If you read it, of course, I will deduct your mark. And next one is make your presentation interesting. So it can be in the form of forum, debate, role play, acting, talk show, and more creative will give you more marks. Remember that. And after that, but don't forget, you have to record your presentation and send the YouTube link to me before the class, because in this case, I have to make sure that your presentation is in the form that can be the proof for me to give you marks accordingly. So that's why I prefer to make it in the video format instead of the normal presentation. Okay, but after that, for the class lecture, for each class, you have to play the video presentation. And for the session, okay, it depends on you. It depends on you how many minutes that you want to have the video presentation. Because, for example, for the whole 2 hours, I will give you for the whole 2 hours. No, the minimum is 2 hours. For the whole 2 hours, you are free. I will give you the flexibility to you to whether you want to play the video presentation or you want to do the activities. And during the class lecture, you have to conduct at least one activity for each lecture. Okay, because for example, we have 3 people in the group, so every people has to have one activity for each topic that is presented, and you will be assessed in terms of the rubrics given. So after this, I will give the rubric for this SCL lecture, which give you 15% of the total mark. And after the lecture, each group is compulsory to ask one question to the presenting group. Each question gives a maximum of 2 marks. And additional question give you bonus unrecorded marks. Okay, so remember that. And some reminder, please do not prepare your lecture at the last minute, as your presentation will be marked based on the contents and your discussion, and you need to dress up appropriately for the presentation, and the presentation slide should be submitted within 2 days after the presentation to be shared with the class. The materials will be included in the test and final examinations. And after the session, I will conduct the quiz on every lecture. Okay, but bear in mind that the quiz is not restricted to only of course most of them will be based on the slides that your friends are presenting, or not slide, the video presentation, but don't it's not necessarily to be restricted on that presentation. Okay, so expect more questions from, but within the topic given. All right. Okay, after this, I will release you the topic on the Petroblast, and you can choose the topic. All right. Okay. At the meantime, this is the rubric for the SCL activities. Sorry. Oh, I think 70. All right. So basically, the SCL lecture will be assessed in terms of visual appeal, which includes your visual during the presentation, as well as your visual in the video presentation. And next one is comprehension, and your especially in terms of your knowledge on the topic, whether it is extensive or quite poor. And next one is the presentation skill, which include your presentation during class, your as well as the presentation in the video, which also includes the activity. Okay. This one also we need to say that the content should include the one in the slides as well as in your activity, especially in your lecture, your activity. So basically, I will assess this one according to your activity of the lecture. For this one, according to the slides, according to the not slide, the video presentation. And next one is the preparedness and participation and group dynamics. So this is about your whether all the groups know each other or not, because after all, I will assess you in terms of your group dynamics, whether it is coherent or not from one topic to another topic. And last one is the ability to answer question, because every group has to give the question for the topic. So basically, that's the mark, and so it will be divided into 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 marks, and I will give you the full mark, which is 15%. All right. Okay. After this, I will release the topic for you to choose. Okay. Till we meet again. All right. Thank you.